and welcome to Friday. With me, Karen Karimi, right here on the home of Untold Stories. It's been a week full of political intrigues with just under 2 months to the general election. My name is Karen Karimi. Of course, you're watching Friday. We have an amazing interview tonight. Please watch out for that. Our Twitter handles are at TV47 Kenya on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is at Karimi_Karen. On Friday, like I mentioned, we focus on that and much more beyond politics, including our Friday interview, where we will be speaking to Joe Mudikiza, a drama teacher, playwright, and most importantly, a warrior and fighter who has ensured that sickle cell is not a death sentence, but just a normal disease. Any questions you might have, like I said, send them through, of course, on our social media, on Twitter, T47 Kenya, in the headlines tonight. Tonight. 8 people dead following Narok road accident.
Kufika pale, si ndio wakasimama tukakimbia mbio. Ndio tunaona haya kumbe ni sana
As several others continue to receive treatment in hospital. Also tonight,
the chance is gone.
4 presidential aspirants rejected by IEBC. This as Deputy President William Ruto books a date IEBC tomorrow.
Safari yangu na Mheshimiwa Raila unaijua.
Kalonzo Musyoka pitches tent in Machakos.
Ati wanataka kuendelea ati kukopa pesa.
As Deputy President Ruto charms Ruai and Utawala residents. In our top story tonight, 6 people have perished and several others continue to receive treatment in hospital after they were involved in a road accident on the Narok-Bomet highway. The accident involved a trailer and a matatu that were heading towards different directions. Mudhoni Maina begins our bulletin with this sad story.
8 people have died and several others injured following a road accident that occurred at Governor area on the Narok-Bomet highway this afternoon. This is after the driver of a trailer collided head-on with a matatu that was ferrying passengers from Bomet to Nairobi at midday. Eyewitnesses say the driver of the trailer had a front tire burst and lost control of the vehicle, hitting the matatu that was heading towards the opposite direction.
Una trailer inakaa kuja hii side. Inajivuruta but ina shake, unaona? So tukifika pale naona naambia trailer ndio hii inaenda the other side, inaenda wapi? Kufika pale si ndio wakasimama tukakimbia mbio. Ndio tunaona haya kumbe ni sana.
Narok North Sub-County Police Commander Frederick Shiundu has confirmed the incident, saying 5 people died on the spot, while 3 others died while receiving treatment in hospital.
Ilitokea wakati ambapo gari moja la aina ya trailer ambayo ilikuwa inateremka kutoka sehemu za Narok kuelekea upande wa Bomet ilipoweza kupasuka mguu wa mbele wa upande wa kulia na ikaweza kupoteza mwelekeo na kuweza kukongana head-on collision na shuttle ya aina ya ENA, ya kampuni ya ENA ambayo ilikuwa inatoka sehemu za Kisii ikielekea sehemu za Nairobi. Hapo penye ajali ilipotokea tumeweza kupoteza watu 5 papo hapo ambao walikuwa katika lile gari ndogo la shuttle ya ENA.
Due to the impact of the accident, the matatu was written off while the trailer was partly damaged in the front area. Those injured suffered fractures on their heads and limbs and are recuperating at the Narok County Referral Hospital.
So we've received in total 10 patients, and unfortunately 2 have succumbed. 3 are in critical condition and currently are being managed by our consultants and the entire team, the entire emergency team. 5 are stable and also under care with us.
The bodies of the deceased have been moved to the Narok Referral Hospital mortuary. Mudhoni Maina, TV47.
Also tonight, 5 people Been buried alive at PCEA Mukua Secondary School in Githunguri, Kiambu County. Rescue mission is ongoing as emergency service providers rush against time to save 5 people who have been buried alive. The 5 were buried alive after the foundation of a toilet they were constructing caved in. Elizabeth Atieno with the details.
This was the situation at Mukua Secondary School in Githunguri, Kiambu County. Distraught residents and these 2 excavators carefully lifting away the soil from the newly dug 60-feet pit latrine paints a clear picture of the tragedy that ensued at exactly 3 p.m. this evening.
Nasema acha tufike kwa ngapi? 6. Tufuge hiyo kazi. Tukienda kuwekelea 6, hiyo kitu iliboromoka. Tukaenda tukaona mmoja ameku. Ako pande ile Kristi ali venye tulimtoa hivi yeye amededi huyo. Alikuwa amechapo mawe.
11 men gathered at this particular point to finish up the construction of a pit latrine for the Mukua Secondary School students. Just an hour before the men could finish the construction, the pit latrine caved in, leaving 7 nursing serious injury in the hospital, as the fate of the remaining 4 remains unknown since they have been left trapped in the latrine.
Wakakuja wakaanza kufanya partitioning, na hiyo partition wakati wako juu ya hiyo kitu ikakave in, watu wakaanguka huko chini ya hii shimo futi 60. Kuna watu 4 ambao wameraliwa na mawe.
Kuna rasta, kiama, wajogu na kilisi.
4 wao ndio wameanguka chini, au wengine 7 wamenusurika wako nje. 4 wako ndani, na kati ya wao wamenusurika kuna mmoja ambaye 4 wao wamepelekwa. Mmoja inasemekana ako na spinal injury. Anatakana kwenda kupelekwa kwa kupigwa picha.
Area residents are now pleading with contractors to abide by the rules highlighted by the National Construction Authority.
Pia ni lazima tupatie mijego ile muda, kwa sababu kama tumefanya slab ni lazima ipewe siku 11 ili ikauke. Hii kwa sababu tumesikia na tumejionea walikoroga jana na leo fanya kazi, na ndio maana hiyo ajali ikapatikana siku ya leo.
Rescue operations to retrieve the 4 are still ongoing. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Today, the Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has directed that action be taken against officers involved in the Masimba killings. Matiang'i says it is unfortunate that GS took the lives of innocent demonstrators in Masimba on Thursday. Matiang'i apologized to Kenyans, saying the head of state is saddened by what the GSU officers did to innocent demonstrators.
Kwa sababu ya huzuni, mambo ambayo yamefanyika hapa, ambayo hata sisi wenyewe kama viongozi na kama serikali yametuudhi kabisa. Wananchi, ndugu zangu na dada, ninataka kuwaomba msamaha kama mtumishi wa serikali na binadamu na kiongozi na mzazi na ndugu, na kama binadamu mwenzenu. I want to ask for forgiveness. I have come here to apologize.
Tunaitisha msaada wa dharura wa serikali kutokezea na kulinda maisha za watu, tukidai kujua nini ilifanyika mpaka serikali ikapiga watu risasi.
This is a problem which has affected us. I want you to remain in peace. But I assure you, when I saw Matiang'i here and Governor Lenku and Gideonye and all the other leaders of here, I know very well that we're going to get a solution.
And to matters politics, the list of presidential aspirants seeking to run in the next general election continues to grow thin, with 8 out of the 18 who had made it for clearance already out of the race. Today, the electoral body, IEBC, disqualified 4 independent aspirants. And as David Mudhoka reports, the fate of one more aspirant who was on today's schedule, Agano Party leader David Maure Waihiga, will be decided on Thursday at 9 a.m. with the scrutinization of some of his submitted documents underway.
The respective journeys to State House for 4 presidential aspirants ended in premium tears on Friday as the clearance of presidential aspirants by IEBC Chair and Presidential Election Returning Officer Wafula Chebukati entered its 5th day. The first to see his ambitions hit a snag was Jeremiah Nyaga on the basis of picking a chama cha Uzalendo member as his running mate despite being an independent candidate, submitting copies of IDs and signatures from 21 counties instead of the minimum 24 and failing to submit a self-declaration form. When asked to submit the missing documents at 2 p.m, Nyaga was a no-show.
Failure to turn up is an automatic disqualification. Failure to come on time amounts to automatic disqualification, and so he stands disqualified.
Second to face the axe was independent candidate James Kamau, who failed to submit a section of signatures in the correct Microsoft Excel format, as well as a conduct certificate stamped by a certified lawyer.
I believe I have passed this, I could have become the next president. I believe that, and I'm serious about it. I was really ready to campaign, but now the chance is gone.
Dorothy Kemunto's bid to suffered a blow for failing to meet the threshold of 48,000 signatures and ID copies, while Juliet Munyeki also suffered the same fate.
Chairman, huyu returning officer anatufanya tukae wajinga. Tunaweza kuwa tunakuja hii tufike lengo, mahali hapa ni kama watu wajinga.
IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati will decide the fate of Agano Party leader David Mwaure Wahiga on Saturday following the ongoing scrutinization of his documents. Presidential candidates had been required to submit at least 2,000 signatures and ID copies from a minimum of 24 counties to pass the final clearance test. It is a test that has seen the four whose hopes were dimmed on Friday join Murang'a County boss Mwangi Wairia, Justice and Freedom Party boss Justus Juma, Peter Kengori and Gibson Ngaruya, who had been disqualified hitherto.
If one of them perhaps was unable to submit the documents, they should not blame the commission, because we have been very, very facilitative.
Just two have made the cut, among them Roots Party leader George Wajakoya and Umoja Summit Party's Walter Mongare. As it stands, 2 have sailed, 8 failed, and 10 among them UDA's William Ruto and Azimio's Raila Odinga yet to know their fate. With 4 presidential aspirants having fallen by the wayside at Ago on Friday, the focus now shifts to Saturday when Deputy President William Ruto and Agano Party leader David Mwaure Wahiga will know their respective fates in relation to the August 9 contest. David Mudhoka, TV47, Nairobi.
Deputy President William Ruto today led the Kenya Kwanza campaigns in Nairobi's Kasarani constituency. The DP lashed at President Uhuru Kenyatta, terming Kenya's huge debt untenable. According to the second-in-command, the huge appetite for foreign debts has not had any effect on the ordinary Kenyans. Mwangi Maina with the details.
Deputy President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza Brigade took their charm offensive to Kasarani constituency, coming through Kamulu, Ruai, Utawala and Mradi areas. Utawala mjambo! Ruto led the Kenya Kwanza Brigade on an onslaught against President Uhuru Kenyatta's assertions during Madaraka Day celebrations that Kenya's debt burden is manageable, with the leaders castigating President Uhuru Kenyatta for Kenyans' ballooning debt. According to Ruto, the debt is unsustainable and that the capital-intensive capital borrowing during Kenyatta's reign has not benefited the ordinary Kenyan. The second-in-command has vowed to tame Kenya's huge appetite for foreign debts once elected president.
Jamaa wa kuzimia ati wanataka kuendelea ati kukopa pesa, ati wanataka kuendelea na capital intensive projects ambayo inafaidi watu wachache. Tunataka tuwaambie hii serikali ya mahasla, tutabadilisha hiyo maneno. Tutawachana na kukopa pesa, tutatafuta investment. Tutawachana na capital intensive programs, tutatafuta labor intensive programs, ili tuweke pesa kwa mifuko ya wananchi wengi.
Sisi hapa wananchi wa Kenya wako kwa CRB, na yale madeni ambayo Deputy President amezungumzia, yale watu wa kuzimia wametuweka ndani, nao pia wameweka taifa la Kenya kwa fuliza ya ulimwengu. Mnanielewa? wameweka Wakenya kwa CRB ya ulimwengu.
The Kenya Kwanza decried the skyrocketing inflation affecting basic commodities, thereby making life more difficult for Kenyans. Ruto and his team have promised to focus on affordable cost of living for all through the bottom-up economic model that will put more money in the pockets of the ordinary Kenyan.
Hii serikali ya handshake ndio imepandisha bei ya maisha, bei ya unga, ya mafuta ya taa. Kura ya William Ruto ni ya kupunguza bei ya unga.
Upige kura ya kubadilisha maisha yetu. Kura ya kuteremsha bei ya unga, kura ya kuteremsha bei ya mafuta, kura ya kuteremsha bei ya kila kitu.
Tomorrow, Ruto has a date with the electoral body IEBC and is later expected to hold a public rally at the Kamukoji grounds thereafter. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has taken his campaigns to Ukambani region just a day after he rejoined Azimio One Kenya Alliance, promising to ensure that Azimio One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga wins by a landslide. Speaking in Tala, Machakos County, Kalonzo chided Kenya Kwanza Brigade and their leader, Deputy President William Ruto, saying Ruto has never featured in his political equation. Here is Elizabeth Mutoko with the details.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka today hit the road running just a day after he rejoined Azimio One Kenya Alliance, taking the Azimio One Kenya campaigns to his Ukambani backyard. The Wiper party boss says together with his brigade, they will traverse the country in a bid to popularize Azimio One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga ahead of the August 9th polls.
Nimeona wakati huu vile watu wameanza kubeat the drums of war, kusema kama sasa hii tukishindwa tutakubali, tukifanya hivi. Na nikaona like Martin Luther King akasema, I went up to the mountain top and I saw the glory of God. Nikaona Mungu anapenda Kenya hii. Kwa hivyo tukizungumza juu ya Wiper Democratic Movement, tunazungumza juu ya sura ya kesho ya siasa ya Kenya. Na mimi niko hapa sasa nikiwa nyumbani. Mcheza kwao tuzo, ni kweli?
Addressing Tala residents in Machakos County, Kalonzo has chided Kenya Kwanza Brigade and their captain, Deputy President William Ruto, saying they lack moral authority to fight corruption.
Sasa lazima tuibuke. Na nimekuja kuwasihi kwa sababu usiku umeingia. Safari yangu na Mheshimiwa Raila mnaijua. 2013.
Further, the Wiper leader has called on IEBC to clear Mike Mbuvi Sonko to enable him to vie for the Mombasa gubernatorial race, as he has what it takes to transform Mombasa County. Elizabeth Mutuku. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has issued a stern warning to those planning to fan violence this electioneering period, saying the government will not spare anyone who threatens the country's stability. Paul Minu has more.
This comes days after the National Cohesion and Integration Commission released a report that indicated that the country may witness violence in some areas. Yes. Matiang'i has, however, vowed to give his support and that of his ministry in working together with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission in addressing such issues to maintain peace during the electioneering period.
So we are by and large ready, and we are going to support the IEBC to conduct the general elections. And I've said this every time I've had the opportunity, that it is not us who conduct the elections. Our role is we play a supportive role to the IEBC.
He has also assured the nation of stability ahead of the August polls, noting that only few areas have been affected by cases of insecurity.
We have looked at the incident reports that we have in each region across the country, because each of the regional security teams have presented the incident reports they have and any assessments they have done of areas where we need to step up deployment. And fortunately, we actually don't have many. Most of the country is
peaceful.
He has, however, maintained that security personnel will be deployed in such areas to restore and maintain peace before and after the general election.
For us to deal with that belt with unprecedented firmness, and we are going to apply fire they haven't seen to bring order to that particular place, because we believe there are elements, criminal elements, who are challenging the resolve of government and who are challenging our ability to bring order in that particular place.
The CS was speaking during a meeting with regional security teams at the Administration Police Training College in Embakasi on how well the teams have been prepared for the general election. The ministry will be holding such monthly meetings to review the preparations until August 9, when elections will be held. Paul Munio TV 47.
You're watching Friday with me, Karen Karimi. We take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories. Disabled or able-bodied, we all have the power and responsibility to make society more inclusive for each and everyone. From experiences to listening to the disability community, we provide a platform where we interact with disabled individuals with the sole purpose of shedding light on their situation from a positive perspective.
Nilizaliwa bila mikono miwili. Hivyo nilijipata katika maisha, and I'm happy for that.
People are giving a lot of chances to people who are disabled people.
Join Muthoni Maina as she delves deeper this Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
We celebrate disability, an inclusive world and education. We need to know such person can go beyond the limit.
Fine latte was that? Mr. Black Pepper, what's good?
Astounding Rastamtani. How are you, man? That is simping, bro. These men have no substance.
Bro, you need an apology for that. You mean like we should give flowers to the girls? Let's meet up 10 p.m. I'll do what I do best. Put a spice on it.
We need to teach these men how to be alphas.
Then we need a conference. So let's get it.
Welcome to the Men's Conference, where men become alpha males.
Welcome back to the program. Now, 9 suspected drug peddlers have been arraigned at the Shanzu Law Courts. The 9 who were arrested in Mombasa and Kilifi counties are suspected to be involved supplying narcotics in the coast region. Patronilla Gorin with the details.
Athman Ali Bwana.
One after the other, the 9 occupied their spaces at the Shanzu Law Courts earlier today.
Wangalia hapi, tizama huku. Tizama huku. Nuru Zedi.
These suspects are said to have been arrested following an intelligence report from the anti-narcotic department. The suspects include Athman Abdul Rahman, Nuru Zedi, Athman Ali, Don Martin Musyoki, Jen Jerry, Bentakinyo Gola, John Gibson, Majid Lukman Thailand, his wife Halima Mohammed Hamed Alias Mami. During the raid of the suspects' safe houses, 5,000 grams of a substance suspected to be cocaine, 200,000 Kenya shillings in cash, 2 motor vehicles and mobile phones were recovered. Other apparatus used in the packaging of narcotic drugs were also recovered, including 1 piece of glass, improvised spatulas, a scalpel, 2 rolls of sellotape, a roll of packaging polythene paper, and digital weighing machines.
Mr. Musyoka, you have something to say?
In the documents filed before court, the state says that the value and the quantity of the substances recovered from the suspects indicate that they are highly involved in the distribution of the narcotics whose actual value is yet to be determined. Led by State Counsel Bosibori Ogega, they requested for 6 more days to hold the suspects, citing that the recovered narcotics are yet to be weighed, sampled and analyzed. According to Ogega, owing to the places of arrest and recoveries, the services of the designated government analyst, which is based in Mombasa, could not be immediately secured to enable the analysis of the narcotics to be conducted. The anti-narcotic police unit officers also told the court that the investigators are yet to trace the sender of a parcel that was to be received by one of the suspects. However, the suspects, through their lawyers led by Yusuf Abubakar, Omuya and Omondi, said that the respondents have the right to be granted bail pending the outcome of the investigations.
The officer and the prosecution present to you compelling reasons that the suspect shall not appear in court.
The state's cancelled request was, however, quashed by the Shanzu Law Court's principal magistrate Yusuf Shikanda and instead allowed 3 days to complete investigations. Meanwhile, the suspects will remain in detention at the Port Police until 6th June when a court decision will be reached.
In the meantime, we'll have them at Port Police Station. Unaogopa camera?
Patronila Goren for TV47 in Mombasa County.
And to sports tonight, the 2022 edition of the Rhino Charge competition came to its culmination earlier today at the Mosiro Farm, situated at the border of Narok and Kajiado counties, with the winner of the event, however, expected to be announced on Saturday. The event, organized by Rhino Arc in collaboration with the government and private stakeholders, is targeting to raise over 140 million Kenya shillings that will be channeled towards conserving the environment. Joash Onsare has that report.
7 a.m. Friday and Rhino Charge 2022 competition kicked off. The competing teams hoping to emerge victorious in an exercise aimed at raising funds for conservation. The young, middle-aged, elderly and leaders showed up to witness the epic adventure. Through the Rhino Charge competition that takes place annually in different counties, Rhino Arc, in partnership with government agencies like Kenya Wildlife Service, Kenya Forest Service, and private partners, have fenced conservancies to mitigate human-wildlife conflict and improve biodiversity. The participants and the environmental stakeholders are hopeful in surpassing 140 million shillings raised last year in Baringo County.
You know, all the chargers are bringing their contributions here at HQ, and the tally is not yet completed. So on Saturday at prize giving, we will get finally the final figures about how much funds has been raised.